let's dive in with our story of the week. And Dario, we're going to give you the birthday honors. What was your story of the past week?
Well, I mean, I haven't been on the show for a while, so there's an awful lot I could have picked basically from the last few months. But just in this week, I was kind of really sort of dismayed again to see a big sporting corruption scandal. So obviously, there was the IOC doping problems, which Sebastian Coe is obviously defending, and then you've got the ongoing stuff with FIFA. But then there is this issue with tennis match fixing, and this goes close to my heart. I really like tennis. It's my favorite sport to watch. I used to play it when I was a kid. And it just made me think, is there any sport that is beyond corruption? I don't think there is. And I think it's simply because the amounts of money, and the integration between the sport itself, the commercial rights in television, and the gambling, which is, an industry in and of itself around sports, means that that there is the liability for this to happening across the board in all kinds of sports is just there, and it's just it's really sad when you think about the fact that these guys are supposed to be heroes to young people and this kind of stuff, but the whole sort of economic and corporate infrastructure around it and like I say, the sort of gambling opens up the possibilities for these issues to take place across all sports. But yeah, to read this in tennis is terrible.
You're a big cyclist as well, aren't you, Dario?
Yeah.
I mean, well, that and all.
Yeah, I mean, that's had a long history of problems, as we all know. But at least, I mean, to be honest, Chris Froome is doing his best to try and sort of counter that by, being very open and transparent about his medical figures, his blood figures and all that kind of thing. They're trying to be more transparent about it. So hopefully they are tackling that. But yeah, it's all about the money at the end of the day, isn't it?
Well, it's interesting because they make so much money. How much money is being given to a Novak Djokovic, for example, because his name was mentioned?
No, I think there's two different things there. Yeah, the guys at the top in all sports are the ones that are making all of the money. But then if you just come down even to sort of mid-level, the amount of money it costs for a professional tennis player to go on the circuit around the world is an awful lot. So, £100,000, £250,000, £500,000 payoff is a lot of money for those mid-level guys. And plus, you look at the other sports. Beyond the top level in any sport, the sportsmen are not actually making that much. It's just the elite that in any sport that are making, the huge bucks.
Well, some of the whispers, though, were about him specifically. That's why I mentioned his name, because he's at the top of the charts today.
Absolutely, and he's totally denied it. So until sort of some evidence comes out and some direct evidence linking him, then I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Phil, what was your favourite story?
My favourite story of the week is about the Revenant. I know this is more Dario's area than mine, but I saw it last week, and it's a fantastic film, beautifully shot, but it's 90% bollocks. I mean, he was attacked. I'm not giving this away because it was in a trail and in the papers and stuff. He was attacked by a bear and things, and just about survived, but the rest is nonsense. I mean, all this stuff about, because in there he's climbing into a horse. I mean, that's rubbish apparently. That may have come from Star Wars, I don't know.
But hang on a minute, do films have to be true to history?
Probably don't, but I mean they don't, but I mean, I'm interested in this because it sells itself on this idea of being, Hugh, what's his name? Hugh Thingy's Glass's story, and it's set in the Rockies in, I think, 1830s, and it actually happened in the plains, and
the based on a true story are the most ridiculous words you will ever see on a cinema screen.
Yeah, well, the key words there are based, right? Because I mean, as long as you've got a kernel of truth in it, and there is a kernel of truth in that, then you can get away with a lot. And in fact, the Coen brothers' Fargo film...
Oh, they're fabulous.
And the great Coen brothers films. And the Fargo film starts with, this is based on a true story. And it's completely made up.
The whole thing's made up. Well, even those that are factually based, like Apollo 13, I met the head of... Mission Control, NASA, Gene Kranz. He came out and gave a talk for a group of people that I was working with. And Gene said, no, it would never spin that wildly. No, you would never have, that much. But these were all, and he was an advisor to the film, so these were all effects that are added to move the story along as a device, right, Dario?
Absolutely, it's a film. It's a film.
Because half the time, this Leonardo DiCaprio was a shoo-in apparently for the Oscars. He spends most of his time with a mouthful of snow, and this actually happened in August.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I think that the idea of what constitutes an acting performance is obviously kind of quite a wide boundary when it comes to Leonardo being nominated as the best actor of the year. I think I can think of a lot of people who acted better. I mean, he just got cold and ate a wet fish, and if that constitutes great acting, then fair play to him.
Well, speaking of a mouthful of snow, my favorite story of the week is BT, after years of saying, oh no, there's nothing wrong with our Indian call centers, went out and hired 1,000 workers in the UK after the Indian call center complaints reached a certain plateau. And I'm happy on the one hand, but I'm also furious on the other hand, because that the experienced people with benefits and such are all going to be replaced by people on 0-hour contracts. And it's absolutely disgusting and despicable. And the service from that company is disgusting and despicable. And I can't see a change just because you move it a few thousand miles to the west.
This call centre thing is amazing, isn't it? I mean, I changed the milk delivery for my mother's house in Monmouth. And I had to ring up Kuala Lumpur for them to change, and they got it on their computer. Yeah, you get 3 pints. I want that reduced to 2. Yeah, fine. And that's in bloody Kuala Lumpur in the middle of the night. Incredible.